The first one is that given that there's so much emphasis on, this higher motive of worshipping, which the Khulafa have, as that Maqamat al Ahrar, which is not in transaction of, gaining something in the hereafter, others for that higher cause. Given that this seems to be the ideal reason and motive, why is it that in the Quran, the main focus is, for example, Allah is giving incentivizing people with rivers and fruits and hur and these kind of things, or the punishment? Is it because the majority of people are motivated by these things? So it seems like the Quran is mainly referring to the abid and to the zahid and to and to the abid for being afraid of the hellfire. This is my first point. The second point which I had is that places, for example, that Shaykh al-Rais mentions حينما يستجلي الحق, for example, or كلما شاء السر اطلع على نور الحق. These things, we read them theoretically, we understand something, but in reality, I mean, what does it mean? We can translate this and we can explain it from a theoretical perspective, but is there, maybe someone like me, I'm not going to understand it, but is there any other way that we can have some sort of indication of or parable as to what it means? That's number two. And the third point which I had was on this last section that we were reading, وَأَمَّا عِبَادَتُهُ فَارْتِيَاضٌ لِحَمَمِهِ الَّتِي هِيَ مَبَادِئُ إِرَادَتِهِ وَعَزَمَاتِهِ. This place, this ibadah, is it the ibadah, the ma'na al-akhas, which is the praying and fasting and tahajjud and Quran? Are these the points what strengthens one's irada and willpower to be able to overcome and be in control of his different faculties? Or is ibadah here, it's the general meaning of ibadah, that everything he does is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is the cause? And if it's the former, how does ibadah with that meaning increases or strengthens one's willpower to be able to, how does, for example, praying enable you to be more in control of your shahawat or khiyal or wahm, etc.? And apologies for the long questions.
Thank you. Ahsantu. With respect to the first question, why Quran mentions many times blessings in heaven that are more matter of maybe fruits and food and this type of things and the reward, the answer is the Quran is a book of guidance and does that guidance or provides that guidance with wisdom. Quran is not a book for urafa only, and Quran is not a book for non-arif, non-mystics only. Quran is a book for all. Even the Prophet can benefit from the Quran, and a person who is believer can benefit from the Quran. A seeker of guidance can benefit from the Quran, and even a person who is misguided, if opens his heart to the Quran, can benefit from the Quran. So therefore you appreciate that the Quran has to have a variety of treatments for the same subject, and people, depending on what stage they are, they may appreciate more or relate more to certain things in the Quran. But because the majority of believers are not arif, therefore there is great portion of the Quran for the majority of people, because they need such things. This is one point. Another point is that I think for arif, even when Allah talks about, for example, the reward, about the blessings of heaven, etc., they don't understand these things in the way that non-Arif understands. For Arif, again, if there is, for example, water in heaven, if there is fruit in heaven, if there is shadow in heaven, if there is friendship and brotherhood in heaven, for Arif, all these things have mystical meanings as well. And this is the beauty of the Quran, that not only horizontally addresses different people and talks to different people, but also vertically, Quran talks to different people. So Quran has something from the same word for common people and something for the mystics. What was question 2? I think it was about the theory and how to.
Sorry, the second question was about, those places that I said whenever they want.
Yeah. So your question was, we can read this, but how we can sense it, huh?
How can we, what does it mean? They see this Nur al-Haq, and what does it mean in reality?
Yeah. In reality, you have to experience this, because these are realities that cannot be described fully. We said that when it comes to dunya, normally description is better than the reality. But when it comes to spirituality and heaven, description always falls short. So I tried to somehow explain it. For example, how they feel when they stand for prayer, how everything is at their service, how they feel tranquil, how nothing from outside disturbs them. We can see sometimes signs of this in some people, or especially in some orafas, or certainly in our imams, that how when they are in prayer, they are fully focused, and they are somehow as if they don't bother about what happens in the world. But we have to experience it so that we can better understand. We can just get some idea, but these are the things that mystics try to explain to us. They struggle to find the words to explain to us, but unless we really reach that point, we would not appreciate it. We would not really understand them. What was question 3?
Question 3 was about the part that Khaja is speaking about
Ibadah.
And how it takes
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah. As I said, Ibadah for Arif is not only Salat and Siyam. For Abid, everything is an opportunity for Ibadah. It meaning that everything can be Ibadah. But even for Arif, Salat is not equal to other types of Ibadah. For example, suppose someone is teaching for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Someone is working, in a bakery, or in a hospital for the sake of Allah. They can be all acts of worship. But still, they are not similar to Salat. Because Salat is designed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the best form of ibadah. Of course, if in the rest of my day I serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through my work, through my, being a teacher, being an engineer, being a taxi driver, being, a cook, whatever. If I serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the rest of my day and I do ibadah in the rest of the day, it would affect my salat. There is no doubt about this. It would affect my salat. But still, it is through my salat that I can rise. Salat is something very special. So somehow everything is to serve our salat, and our salat is the final product or the final achievement of every person. I have said this in some lectures that we would be measured by our salat. إن قبلت قبل ما سواها وإن ردت رد ما سواها. It seems that it's the quality of salat which determines how much progress we have made in other areas. So for Arif, ibadah is not only salat and fasting, etc., but these particular acts of ibadah, al-ibadah bil-ma'na al-khas, especially salat, remain even for Arif very outstanding. They would never become like other things. They would remain always outstanding.
There's a written question, Shaykhna,
Yes.
from Brother Mustafa. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا فنتبعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا فنجتنبه. Can we say that this dua can refer in a deeper sense to asking for the mind and thoughts to be at the service of haqq and for us to have a better experience of haqq? If you could please elaborate, Jazakallah.
Yes. This dua is a very beautiful dua that we ask Allah to show us or show me the truth so that I follow it, and the falsehood so that I avoid. And we ask Allah, don't make truth ambiguous or confusing so that I then follow my own desires. وَلَا تَجْعَلْهُ مُتَشَابِهًا عَلَيَّ فَأَتَّبِعَ هَوَى نَفْسِي. So that then this is for people that they have great concern for understanding the truth, for making distinction between truth and falsehood. They are not hesitant to follow the truth, but still they know that there is some impurity that can stop us from being committed to truth if truth is not clear. So when truth is clear, they're okay. But when there's ambiguity, they go by the desire of the nafs. So it's a very beautiful dua, and we should make this dua more often so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would give us ability to understand the truth. But at the same time, we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us determination to remain with the truth and to be with the people of the truth. And inshallah later become signs of the truth. May Allah inshallah make us also signs of the truth so that other people by looking at us also can be understanding the truth. But this is in need of lots of sacrifice and dedication so that you become signs of the truth, inshallah.
Thank you very much, Shaykh.
Thank you, and thank to everyone. May Allah bless all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ahsantum. Thanks for the good questions. May Allah bless you, and inshallah may you have a great inshallah week, and look forward to seeing you next week inshallah bi'iznillah.
Inshallah. Lots of thank yous that are coming through on the chat as well on behalf of everyone.
Thank you very much. May Allah bless all of you, and iltimas dua please.
Inshallah.
Ahsantum. Fi amallah. Thank you. Ahsantum.